If nothing else, take some solace in this. Now you'll never again have to watch the Argylle trailer before a movie. There is some goodness in that. Let's talk about it. Argylle is directed by Matthew Vaughn and stars Henry Cavill, Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Rockwell, Samuel L. Jackson, Bryan Cranston, Catherine O'Hara, Ariana DeBose, Dua Lipa. Wow, that's actually a pretty stacked cast when you read it out loud. In this movie, we follow Elle Conway, an author played by Bryce Dallas Howard, who has had a very successful book run with her series on Agent Argylle. In the movie, this agent is played by Henry Cavill in the books, and he's got a partner played by John Cena, who I forgot to mention in that initial bit of the video. And eventually what happens is her books seem to be telling a story that's actually unfolding. And every single book is leading to something real. And as a result of that, actual secret agents are after her. And she is suddenly on a globe-trotting espionage mission. And now we have a big movie. Matthew Vaughn is a director to me. There are some movies that I've loved of his a lot. When it comes to stuff like Stardust or Kick-Ass or X-Men First Class, the first Kingsman movie, I think he's done a really great job over there with stuff. But then I didn't love his last two Kingsman movies, The Golden Circle, which I actually did say the first time I watched it, I really liked the movie, but in retrospect, it has not held up for me. And The King's Man, which I think I liked a little bit more, it's still not the best thing. But Argylle, you know, it's a new feature, it's a new universe that he's working with, could go anywhere. And I would say there are moments where it does, kind of. But somewhere along the way it loses that. But before we get there, I'll talk about some of the positives. For one, it is very action-packed, and Matthew Vaughn usually does a very good job with those sequences. Once again, that's very prevalent over here. There's a few standout moments. There's one that you've seen sort of hinted at in trailers with colored smoke and a lot of shooting going on. Probably the best scene of the movie. That was awesome. There's a fight scene in a train early on, which was also a lot of fun. There's a bunch of moments like that sprinkled across, which were really entertaining. The cast is all really good, whether it be the actual people that are existing in our world or whether it be the fictional versions of those characters like Cavill, and all of them were really fun. They were all having a pretty good time with the movie, and a lot of really crazy stuff that eventually takes place. They're all bringing their A game. Sam Rockwell was having a really good time with this movie. That's for damn sure. Honestly, no such bad performance in that sense. It's got a very fun and peppy soundtrack, as you probably expect from a Matthew Vaughn movie at this point. There's a couple of very catchy tunes. There's one that they've done specifically for the movie that's also really fun. And mostly, especially in the first half, it has a very entertaining vibe. Like, you are definitely on board with whatever's happening in Argylle, and you're having a lot of fun with it. But somewhere along the way, the second half of the movie especially, stuff kicks in which eventually becomes sort of a twist marathon, where every single scene feels designed to just reveal something. And if you don't think that reveal was enough, then there's another reveal based on the same thing right after. It becomes sort of like, you know, trying to be a surprising, subversive movie, but eventually it becomes frustrating because I guess the idea after a while is like, well, you can't trust anything. It's like, yeah, I see what you're going for, but I also don't know whether or not to be invested in the story as a result of that. And what happens is that the movie starts to become so much of that it loses focus of its actual storyline, which then becomes very convoluted and messy because suddenly everything feels like a twist. And so something that may have happened earlier and you go, oh, okay, I'm gonna follow that thread and that's gonna lead us somewhere. That is cut, and then eventually there's a new one. And then that's cut, and then there's a new one. And this goes on for a long time. And I don't exactly know what happened because as a result of that, the movie sort of fizzles out. I didn't really enjoy it after a while, and I was just kind of getting frustrated over that. And again, the idea of the movie is that everything is supposed to be a surprise, but also a lot of the twists end up being rather predictable. And unfortunately, because of that, not all of those things feel very, surprising or obviously, or even very interesting. I don't really know what happened there. Also, some of the plot points are borrowed from a lot of stuff. Like, as you probably, heard from the plot, like, there's already elements of Romancing the Stone. The Lost City recently had some of that too. Mission Impossible, James Bond, throw all of that in there. A couple of Jason Bourne things also. Just, it feels like a movie that's an amalgamation of those things, which is okay. But then it also decides to have things borrowed from other movies, such as those movies, and put those in as well. Also, one thing that really surprised me in this movie was the CGI. Some of it was really not good. There's a cat, which was very entertaining in this movie, but there was a lot of stuff that, surrounds the cat or the green screen in some moments, which really did not look great. I'm not really sure what happened over there, and I'm pretty sure it had a decent budget. This is actually an Apple movie, so I am assuming that, they have money. So that's just my take on that. But as a result, like I said, the whole movie becomes just a very frustrating watch. I didn't hate Argylle by any means. I don't think it's a terrible movie, but I do think it's a movie that could have been a lot better and a lot more focused if it didn't sort of become a discombobulated twist act kind of thing in the last half of the movie. And it's just where the film kind of loses you. It also has an end credits scene, by the way, which, yeah, I'm curious how the reactions to that are going to be. Some people might like that, some might not. I don't know, but it's an ending for sure. Guys, like I said, I don't hate this movie. I don't think it's Matthew Vaughn's worst movie, but it was kind of okay at the end. I'm going to give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. It was alright. It's fine. Maybe you'll enjoy it more than I did. And if you do, totally fine. And yeah, that's it. Oh, regarding the Agent Argylle thing, there's a whole thing around it, like who is the real one. Yeah, you'll find out. And hope you guys like the answer. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Look forward to more videos very, very soon. And as always, if you like this, please do subscribe. And I'll see you guys at the movies.